This is Man with the basketball against MoMo. Fields trying to set a screen out on top. Bet the ball's back in number 2's hands any second now. Man working it down. They are going for the final shot. There's Fields tied up. Fields gets open. Fields shoves it down, and it's missed. At the other end, the Cats have a chance with 4 seconds left. MoMo Jones spouts it up, puts it up. It's in! No, he didn't! No, he didn't! Lamont MoMo Jones with the dagger.
Jones, MoMo. New York City point guard, Harlem to be exact.
What's up? What's up, man?
You more like family now, man.
Hey, man, it ain't like family. We family. You know what I'm saying? We family, man.
Yeah, man. So how's it going over there, man, with this coronavirus thing going on, man? How you holding up?
I'm good, man. I'm in the safest place to be
Right.
in the world right now. We open back up. Our restaurants are open. You know, you know, the professional gyms, arenas open probably like 3 weeks ago. You know, maybe 3.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we can walk outside, we go grocery shopping. We live an everyday life out here now, man. So I'm glad I stayed around. I got some slack from some people, but
I'm sure.
I don't know. My heart told me that we was going to play again. And I'm probably in the middle of probably like one of my best seasons, so I didn't want to lose that focus.
All right. So let's jump into it, man. You grew up in the Mecca, man. You grew up in New York City, man. Talk about growing up in New York, man, in terms of how basketball became a part of your life.
Man, basketball ain't become a part of my life. It's my life. It's been my life since as long as I can remember. I started playing at 3, got my first trophy at 4, got my first MVP trophy at 5. The rest of it was history.
Right.
You know, my pops put the ball in my hand. He died when I was 8, and then Mom Dukes, you know, took over and kind of, you know, pushed that battery in my back, and it was love, man. Basketball is straight love. That, like I said, you family, basketball is family. That's my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
So you know, I've had a couple of people from New York City on the podcast, and I always ask them, man, like growing up in that environment, do you think you know, basketball kept you out of the streets or kept you from going down the wrong road?
Oh, most definitely. You know, it's funny. I was just telling my moms the other day because she didn't know the story. You know, my dad got killed when I was 8 on the block. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
And my cousin, you know, ends up retaliating, doing what he do. You know, we from the hood.
Yeah.
And one day I was in the 8th grade. I'm walking up the block, and he goes, "Yo, come here." And he goes, "You got 3 choices. You either play ball and get us out the hood, you become Crip, or you die like the rest of them."
Wow.
That's his family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it was a no-brainer after that. You know, I mean, I didn't want to be in the drug game. I wasn't trying to become no Crip or no blood or be in nobody's game. And I damn sure wasn't trying to die. So,
right.
You know, basketball he didn't have to say that, but it kind of gave me a little more incentive, especially because I was scared to death.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it was tough.
Right.
You got all the hoopers coming up. You know, you got the drugs right there. You got the girls right there. You got the money right there. You know.
Yeah.
And then you're a basketball player, so everybody wants you to do it. You know, there's people that want to see you fall. But I was lucky enough to have a block, a neighborhood that was behind me in that. You know, no matter what, they kept me out of it. Like, nah, you can't even be around this. Like, for the longest, I think I was maybe like 22 before one of my best friends smoked a blunt around me.
Wow. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So they had my back, man. Like, and as much as I fought not being, you know, the hood guy and, you know, selling drugs, they embraced me, you know, like I was that. You know, I was one of them. I was family, you know.
So was there one person that you, when you picked up that basketball, was there one person from New York that you looked at, or the person doesn't have to be from New York, and you was like, yeah, that's who I want to be like, or that's who I want to pattern my game after?
Nope. It was nobody. I always wanted to be me. I wanted to do it my way. That's how my mom's taught me. That's how I watched my mom do it. It's funny because Chop don't even know this. Chop was probably one of my first inspirations.
Wow.
Like he was family, and he was doing it. You know, at the time, you know, he had, you know, baddest bitch on him in Harlem. He was Chop, you know, light skin, fro, he balling, like, and I'm like, damn, like, if anything, I was like, damn, like I would go stay at Aunt Jackie's house for weeks, like, just to be around Chop, like, because I need to know what you doing, like, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, but other than that, man, nobody that I wanted to pattern my game after.
Yeah.
You know, I took different things, just, you know, the experiences that I seen other people go through, but never wanted to pattern my game after somebody. If I wanted to be, if I had to choose a person, I would say Steve Bird Jr.
Okay.
I would say Steve Bird Jr. Steve Bird was from the block, and Steve Bird did it Steve Bird way.
Right.
And no matter what they said, scoring point guard, don't pass, he was gonna put on the show every night, and that's what I took to. Like, that's what I wanted to be.
Now you started at Rice High School, and this is something that, you know, I wanted to ask you, because New York City is known for a lot of great high school basketball programs, especially the Catholic, you know, and some of the private schools. But you chose a different route. You went to American Christian, and you also went to Oak Hill. You know, you went down there with my guy Tony Bergeron. So what was that decision? How did that decision come into play, knowing that New York City had a lot of powerhouse basketball?
My mom seen something different in the picture for me, and you know, she wanted me to be doing certain things. She wanted me to play a certain style of basketball. And, you know, I was going to Rice no matter what. A lot of people didn't know, out of high school, she wanted me to go to Oak Hill. You know, I could have went to Oak Hill out of middle school. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, you know, the plan was always to be at Rice. And after 2 years there, you know, won some championships, she was just like, you know, I don't like the way that I see you going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm not watching my son. And Bergeron was cool with Dern. They made me go to Philly.
Yeah.
They made me go to Philly. And but once I was there, man, I had Josh Spivey there. I had my man Martez Walker from Cali out there. Jeremiah Kelly was there. So, you know, I had some hitters with me. And then I had Reek.
Yeah.
Reek became, you know, me and Reek became cool. And I think that's one of the reasons why my moms did it, was because he was so big at the time, and he had the national pub. And she was like, listen, if you standing next to him, if you know, number two, when he leave, you're going to be number one. You know, people going to take real notice. And I had to respect her for that. And when she did that, people did take notice.
Right.
You know, and they closed down, and then Oak Hill came.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you don't say no to.
Nah, you don't say no to Oak Hill.
You know, that's you know, that's Jesus. That's Jesus right there. So when Steve Smith call you, it's, you know, you just pack up. Like, you don't even got to say nothing.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of how that went. But I mean, it worked out, man. I loved all of the experiences. I don't think I had one bad experience.
Now, my first memory of you was I think you were playing in I think it was the Jordan Brand Classic at the Garden. Chop was like, "Yo, check my cousin out, man. He's like, he's gonna be nice. He's going to Arizona." I said, "Oh, okay. What's his name?" He said his name's Lamont Jones. They call him MoMo. I said, "Okay." So I think they did a segment on you during that time where they showed where you grew up in Harlem, and you know, they was talking about you know your upbringing. Do you remember that? And how was that for you? Do you feel like you had arrived when you were playing on that stage at MSG with the likes of John Wall?
You know what? I felt like I arrived in the national tournament that year.
Yeah.
And even in Hawaii, like from that Christmas break kind of on through that year, it was like, okay, I'm here. Like I was at Oak Hill, you know, I'm averaging like 22-7. We the number one team in the country. Schools is coming right and left. And then the Jordan game happens, and it was like, man, like I felt like, you know, I belong. When I didn't make the McDonald's game, like I was pissed. And I was like, man, if I don't make this Jordan game, like we gonna have, like, everybody gonna be in trouble.
Right.
And I ended up making it, and it was like, man, like everybody was there. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, finally I was getting the respect that I felt like I deserved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I had just committed to, I was actually at the time I was committed to USC. I had committed to USC during the game.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, I committed to USC during the game. And you know, I was riding high. Like I felt good, and then, you know, the whole USC thing happened. And that's what, you know, got me kind of to Arizona. But the USC thing don't happen, I'm a Trojan for sure. Like that was my dream school.
Yeah, right. But you grew up, man. You grew up in Big East country, man. Why the West Coast? You just wanted something different?
It wasn't more so the West Coast. More so, it was like I had this plan for my life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I was gonna be Quincy McCall. Like real talk. Like I had this thing, man. Like, you know, it's crazy because I used to, in middle school, I used to date Angela Barrett.
Okay.
And went to Maryland. And like our families was just like, you know, hella close. And it was like, yo, like, this is what we doing. You know, and I kind of always stuck on to that. Like, it was like, yo, it was my favorite movie of all time. And I was like, man, if I ever get a chance to go, I'm gonna go. And then, you know, it just so happened you got, you know, OJ Mayo leaves, Daniel Hackett there, DeMar DeRozan, Taj Gibson, Nikola Vucevic coming in, me, Ronaldo, Sidney, Derek Williams. We had one of the top teams in the country.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it kind of worked out perfectly. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And then that happened, and Arizona kind of happened. You know, Book was there.
Okay.
You know, I had about a week and a half to choose, and you know, it was just a familiar place. My mom still to this day kills me for going to Arizona. You know.
You know what? To me, you know, watching you play in college, that game when you guys played Duke, to me, was your coming out party. I think you had like 16 points, and it was Kyrie was there.
16 and 6, no turnovers in the second half.
And you guys knocked them out of the Sweet 16. But then you leave. What was that about, in terms of, you know, you're on the highest stage, man, in college basketball, Sweet 16, you beat Duke University, but then you come back east. Can you talk about that for a few seconds?
Man, that was the tip of the iceberg. Like, I just knew from that point on, it was you know, it was nothing that could stop it from there. And you know, that's kind of how they approached it as well. And you know, that's what I was being told. And you know, we end up, you know, getting into a situation where, you know, we had a party for Derek for his pre-draft party. One thing led to another. Everything ends up in you know, we got a brand new $3 million locker room. You know, we riding high, you know, it goes to the locker room. And me being from where I'm from, the person that was gonna take the rap for it shouldn't have took the whole rap for it.
Yeah.
And so in going in there saying that, you know, they threw me in the mix, and it became, instead of, you know, Derek Williams out, you in, and we pushing you out next year like we discussed, you know, for the past, you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know, you start telling me I gotta earn my minutes, or I gotta share minutes with, you know, Josiah Turner and Jordan Mays at that, you know, like,
yeah,
I done tortured this kid all year in practice. Like, you know, he was bringing his father to practice every day, like, just for a comfort zone, because I was uncomfortable. Like, you know, like, I felt like he was coming for me, and they was trying to give it to him, but he just wasn't good enough. He wasn't tough enough. And then, you know, you bring in this, you know, we go to the Elite Eight, I'm the second leading scorer, I'm your point guard, and then you tell me I got to share that with a freshman. Then I get the news that my grandmother's sick, and I felt disrespected. And you know, once my grandmoms got sick and I got the news, it was just like, you know what? The hell with this. Like, I don't have to, you know, I could go anywhere I want at this point. Like, I don't have to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And I love Book to death, but he was supposed to have my back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that was one of the reasons. The crazy thing is, over the Corona is probably the first time that I've, you know, talked about this story multiple times. And, you know, he was from New York. He was the reason why I went there. You know, he knew my pops. So when things got rocky, or when things wasn't going the way that they were supposed to, you know, you're my home base. Like, I'm looking at you to, especially if something is going wrong. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't in the right. Like, I wasn't being treated, you know, unfairly because I was doing dumb things. You know, I was just MoMo, the kid from Harlem that was gonna, you know, I talk shit. You know, I walk around with confidence. People didn't like that. And the one person that I thought had my back didn't. Right. And so that just gave me even more incentive to leave. Like, it was like, man, if he could sit in the room and listen to this bullshit that this man is saying, then I don't need to be here.
Right. So let's fast forward to Iona. You came back to New York. You came to Iona, and you put in some work. Your senior season, I think you were like the third leading scorer in the nation. I was number two. I was number two, back and forth with CJ McCollum. Okay, yeah. Man, that was phenomenal, man. Coach Pluse was like, yo, Coach Pluse was Tony Bergeron. Yeah. He wasn't, I mean, they was both vulgar, but he was a little more, I guess you could say cool, because he ain't cool either, but he wasn't Tony. Tony was just a different kind of, you know, a different kind of animal. Right. You know, so, but it was like home, man. It was home. You know, and they treated me, you know, how I felt like I should be treated. They helped me with a lot. Coach Cruz helped me grow as a man. Like, he wasn't just a coach. He didn't really care about the basketball aspect of it. Like, he was academics, how your family doing, you know, how you feeling today, how's your mental, you know, he was more like a father figure than anything. You know what I'm saying? I can remember having my son that my senior year, and we played Siena at home. And I wasn't late for practice, but I was the last one out the locker room. I had to go pick my son up, you know, from Harlem.
And he had shitted everywhere. The trainers had him. He shitted everywhere. And I'm like, man, I can't have them clean that. So I ran in the back and cleaned it. And he kind of like railed me. And he ain't start me. Like, he kind of like in front of the whole team just kind of like embarrassed me. And I'm like, man, like, you the same man that's telling us, you know, the most important thing in the world is if you got kids, be a father.
Right.
So I'm kind of looking at him like, man. And on that day, the next day, you know, as we're playing, we like standing up for the national anthem, and I just couldn't hold it together. Like, I was like, not another disappointment. And I just, during the national anthem, just started bawling. And it was at that point, like, he brought me back to the locker room. He came in and he just hugged me. He ain't say nothing. He hugged me and he stuck to his word. He didn't start me, but at that point, I knew. I was like, all right, like, he cares. Like, he got me. And I ended up coming off the bench and going for 28. And I talked to his ass every bucket. Like, you better not never do it again. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout outs to Coach Cruz, man. That's a great, like, he's amazing, man.
Yeah. So, how did it feel, man, not going undrafted? Knowing that you put in that work, you were one of the best guards in the country at the time.
Man, it was a heartbreaker, man. It was a heartbreaker, man. That day, you know, the crazy thing is that day, you know, I was told that I was going to Boston. You know, after the draft, everything, and you know, we partied like everything was cool. You know, reports came out, you know, MoMo Jones signing with Boston, and like,
I remember,
you know, we on our high horse. We here.
Yeah. Like,
I didn't care about getting drafted. Like, yeah, I'd have liked to be on the TV or something like that, but man, I just need to beat it.
Right.
You can't deny me once I'm there. And the next morning I woke up and things was just, it fell apart. I didn't speak to my agent until like 8 p.m. that night. I'm just calling, no paperwork, no nothing. I'm like, man, what's going on? And then he didn't really have an answer for me. He wouldn't tell me what was going on. And then I see they signed Phil Presley. And I'm like, man, I just, like, what? Like, wait, like, what's going on? And for a minute, I didn't figure out what was going on until John Spencer. I got cool with John. And you know, he was real with me, and you know, I ended up finding out that you know, my agent tried to package me with Zeke Marshall. Like, if you want MoMo, you got to take Zeke Marshall. You know, and I know that. You don't say that to Danny. You don't say that to nobody, but let alone Danny Ainge. Like,
right.
You know, you done lost your whole mind.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that was the end of it right there. And I ain't trust nobody from there on out. Like, I couldn't really, you know, I ended up in Japan by the grace of God my first year because, you know, the coach was just looking for me because he was a Boston guy. Yeah. And he seen I wasn't on the roster, so he's like, wait, like, let me look for this guy. And that's how I ended up starting my career in Japan.
Yeah, but I think I saw some reports as well, man, that you were supposed to be playing with Portland for Summer League. And I don't know what happened with that situation. Was it Portland?
I went to Portland. I did mini camp with Portland. And you know, they had CJ there. CJ was their top dog. And then they had, at the time, the point guards that they brought in. It was me, Dexter Strickland. They had the hometown kid Dominic Waters there. It was CJ Westbrook?
I can't remember that.
CJ, he was like a, you know, kind of like my height, but like little more built. Like, you know, he could jump. I gotta find the exact name. But they, at the end of it, you know, before everybody, we was gonna go to Vegas. Like, they came and they told me, it's like, listen, you know, CJ's our guy. We kind of know your personality, and so we know you don't just want to come and sit on the bench in Vegas and not play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They had already promised Dex, you know, so they took Dex. And then they, you know, the kid Dominic Waters was like, man, I'll just go. Like, you know, and I'll sit on the bench. And it wasn't that I said that I wouldn't go. I guess because who I was, I didn't even get the opportunity to say, well, yeah, like, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's kind of how it went. And then after that, I just had it was like 2 bad situations in a row, and I just had a bad taste in my mouth. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna shift gears and, you know, see what happens over the water.
Right. And that's what that's what you're doing right now. You've been overseas for about 6-7 years now.
This is about to be the end of my 7th year.
Do you feel content on, you know, playing basketball overseas, or do you still have that NBA dream?
Dream? Not really. It's not really a dream, but if I can touch it, I'll definitely touch it. But you know, I mean, I'm a kid from Harlem. You know, I'm traveling the world. I'm doing things that I've never thought in my life. I'm seeing things that I've, you know, never thought in my life. My daughter, you know, was damn near born over here. I've kind of created a whole new kind of life and fan base and family. Like, you know, I've built some family out here, and it's became kind of like home. So, and it's like I said, I mean, it's easy to live. It's not a hassle, you know. I mean, with the places that I've been in, it hasn't been a hassle. I've been fortunate enough to be in Germany for the past 3 years. You know what I'm saying? It's really stable out here. So, it's been good to me, man. I love it. Like I said, I'm still growing and seeing new things that I've never seen before. So, I'm enjoying it. Like, if the NBA comes calling, yeah, of course. But I just want to have fun and do what I do, you know, at a high level for as long as I could possibly do it, whether that's in the NBA or over here. You know, as long as I could bounce that ball and I could put on the show, you know, I'm all right.
All right, so bro, we got about 10 minutes, man, and I got to get these last couple of questions in for you, man. And I'm gonna put you on the spot, man.
Let's do it.
Top 5 from NYC. Top 5. Everybody, I asked Kenny Anderson the same question.
Point guards?
Dog, just players.
Just dogs. Steph. People might look at me like I'm crazy when I say this, but I gotta go my boy Sosa. Edgar Sosa.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotta go my boy Edgar Sosa. Man, I watched him. Like, his drive, like a lot of my drive and the anger that I've played with and the swag and the, you know, that came from him. Yeah. Like, as a freshman, I followed him around like a dog, like, because he was the man. And he was so passionate about what he did in his craft and the way that he worked. He was nonstop in the gym. He did things that people didn't see. You didn't see that behind, you know what I'm saying, out in the public. You had to be there to really. And so, yeah, and he's a dog. Like, he's just a dog.
Steph Sosa.
Man, this is tough. You gotta go Lance.
Okay.
Gotta go Lance. I can't really, Kenny Anderson.
Okay.
And Kemba,
okay. So yeah, I noticed, you know, a lot of the guys you name are guys that you're more familiar with. You didn't really go like dig deep in the past like a Mark Jackson or Kenny Smith or, you know, some of those.
I mean,
which is cool.
I didn't really get to watch them play like that.
Yeah.
So I know I had the Kenny Sacks and the Andre Barretts and the Russell Robinsons, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I had guys like that. And but so those was kind of the people that I watched. I never really watched the older guys. Like if I had to go, older guys, it would be like street ball guys, because that's what I was about coming up. You got Ali Mo, you got Rafe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got Booger. Like it was a who's who of talent in New York. So I'm not sure you can really.
It's tough, man.
I mean, maybe by resume, if you go by like what they did, like career-wise. But some people had great careers, but they not. If you talking about dogs, they might not be better than some of the other guys. They might have a good career, but it's not a lot of guards I'm taking over Kemba Walker in New York City ever.
Yeah. Hey,
whether I watch them play or not.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was a dog.
So I gotta ask you this question, man, and because I follow you on Instagram. Have you become a chef? I mean, where did these cooking skills come from, man? What's that about?
Man, I've been cooking since I was about 10. My mom started making me cook when I was about 10. She started like making me sit in the kitchen and watch her. I left home at 16. I went to American Christian. Yeah. I was on my own. So I started to, you start out like every kid. I'm making, frozen burgers and grilled cheese and eggs. And then I got to college. And I'm like, man, if I really learn how to cook, I'm going to get all the girls. Right? I'm like, it ain't no college dude out here cooking for girl, like it really could cook. And so I started to perfect it, but then it started to become therapy as I got older. I got into my career. You got ups and downs. You go through relationships, you lose people. It just became a source of therapy. And I just started to, each year, I started, making my recipes, and then it became like the look of it, how you take the picture, how much seasoning, whether it's 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. I started to do things like that, and it would keep my mind off of, certain things. Like on a Sunday, we play an early game. I'll get up in the morning, 8 in the morning. I'll cook a full breakfast, like 5-star breakfast. I'll cook it myself, go to shoot around, do my thing, come back, and then, it's game time. But it was my way of just kind of escaping, I guess, reality, but then I just started to love it, man. And then, it's the same thing like the basketball court. People love to see me play, and it's like, man, I love to see people smile when I do what I do. And so to cook and to see, when my best friend eats it, or my mom's or my kids, you know what I'm saying? To see that look on their face, like, damn, that's satisfying. It's gratifying. And so, and then, you got fans that's like, man, like, can you cook for us? Or, can I get your recipe? Like, how you do that? So it's, I kind of tie it into basketball a little bit in a sense. So yeah, man, it's just become like, that shit that became like my second love.
Yeah, I can tell, man. And you got, you done playing, man. You got a future, a couple of recipes.
Yeah, nah. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, man, because it's definitely something that I want to do. My mom's cook, my uncle's cook. You know what I'm saying? So, and it'll be my way to give back, to the hood, to the people that, that meant something to me, that did something for me. To put something like that, an establishment like that, back in the hood, in terms of just kind of like a hole in the wall joint. Like, I don't even want it to be, I want it to be neighborhood ran. My mom's, my sister, I want people to be familiar, like, and understand that this is for the block. Like, this is what we work for all our life. Like, you mean to tell me I get to own something where I came up at?
Right.
All
right, 30 seconds, man. Give me some free game. This is a part of my show, man. Well, I ask all the guests, man, to kind of give some free game to the people, man. It could be about life, it could be about basketball, it could be about anything, but just some free game for the people, man. 30 seconds.
Whether it's basketball, whether it's life, whether it's Fortune 500, you gotta win the day. You gotta win the day. My best friend, you know, said it to me like, yo, you just gotta win the day. And since then, it's like, you know, if you focus on the day and what you got right here in front of you today, and you do the best that you could possibly do, you have the most fun that you could have on that day, you could never say that you left this earth on bad terms. If you have 6 great days out of 7, you won a week. There's no reason why you can't succeed, make the money that you want, have the fun that you want if you look at it like that.
That's good work, man. That's good work. So look, man, we definitely gotta do this again, man, but we gotta do it where we can actually sit down, because I have 1,000,001 questions to ask you that I didn't get to ask you today, which is cool, because I know we'll definitely link up, you know, once you come back.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, if you want, we actually go into quarantine around like June 3rd, because we start playing again.
Okay.
So I'll be locked in a hotel. You know, I'll have the whole, you know, we're the only show. You know, we're the only basketball playing. So, you know, if you want to call and, you know, see what it's like, you know, for the people, and, you know, I could show you around and show you how, you know, they got us in quarantine and testing 3 times a week and on lockdown and all of that. More than welcome.
All right, cool. Large shirt, right? You're large.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna send you some gear, man. Again, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna talk to Chop and tell him that I got a chance to chop it up with you on the show. Most def. I appreciate it. Stay safe, man, and good luck. And again, man, Sports Talk with Playeragent3, we're coming. We're definitely coming.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
All right, MoMo Jones, Sports Talk with Playeragent3.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me, man.
All good, all good.